Hello, it's Dennis here, an UpWork top-rated freelancer. And during making my research for next topics, I found an interesting series of videos in which one Russian-speaking person tells his freelance fail study case and how his account was permanently suspended due to a single client request. I was interested if one single client can spoil your entire profile and ruin your career. This may touch literally anyone on Upwork, except clients. And his channel is completely in Russian. Of course, you didn't know that I'm not a native English speaker. So I will tell you a quick recap of his story. If you watch this video till the end, you will know if your account can be banned, how to avoid it, and what you could try to do if this has happened. And of course, my personal takeaways from this story. So grab your cup of anything and let's begin. I'd like to say upfront that in the beginning, I was quite unsure and skeptical about him. Too much of info business for me. He was sharing his Upwork journey on YouTube and was selling courses on how to succeed on Upwork. What an irony, by the way. And basically, that's why I was quite unsure about him and his professionalism. But after acknowledging with his story, I felt that this can't be unspoken, and I wanted to put my 5 cents on it in a condensed form. He was in the WordPress niche and tried to run an agency from the personal account. Violation, by the way. And one person that introduced himself as a writer gave him some tasks. There were a lot of misunderstandings and that kind of stuff during the project, and Alex wanted to open a dispute. And one day Alex woke up and found that his account was suspended forever. Definitely not the greatest beginning of the day, and his next days looked like that. These and my other words in this video are my personal, humble opinion, not a fact. I have no proof, only my imaginations. Please don't sue me. First, he contacted support and received an answer that they can tell you why this has happened. Obviously, he had some guesses, but I personally didn't know that Upwork doesn't tell you why. Evaluation, but of what? If this guy is guilty, I'd like to hear Upwork's points of view. Alex felt the same way and approached the local country Upwork manager through Facebook, and they tried to do something but wasn't able to help, or just didn't want to and gave a rejection in a polite way. I can't tell for sure what exactly. Sometime after, he contacted a local Ukrainian well-performing agency for their advice. By the way, a wise move. They also redirected to another local support or something like that, and the agency has also asked their personal assistants to look onto Alex's issue. Also, Alex has used all the traditional ways to contact Upwork, and his all attempts gave the same. He has violated one of the rules, but we don't know which one. I wasn't able to find Alex's account on my own. Looks like Upwork has already removed it from search, so I solely rely on his screencasts. And I personally was triggered that he has earned more than 20K on Upwork. That means that he has paid around 2K to Upwork, or even more, and ban, and no info why. And one client, one ban. What? And during the series of videos, it pops out that he suspects the client with no history and 78 contracts from the freelancer's site. Also, it's kind of funny, that this has happened to a person who promotes Upwork on YouTube as a great platform for freelancers. He told about it to Upwork and asked how to explain this situation to his followers. The answer was the same. Meantime, Alex managed to open a dispute for that contract. From what I saw in that message, the only real problem is that Alex asked for money outside the platform. But from what Alex replied, he didn't, but asked to release the milestone. I saw the screenshot of his email. There, Alex asked for releasing a milestone. His communication was neat and great. In that particular email, I personally wasn't able to find any violations at all. Client's answer to that request was amazing. He said that you should hit the like button if you haven't done already. This helps dramatically to spread the message. And the real answer was also amazing. The client said that he released a milestone, but it took 3 hours for him to approve it. The client didn't mean the time before asking for and approving it. He meant the whole process of clicking a button. I couldn't believe when I saw it. A person who can't find a big green button to click and admits it has power to impact and suspend freelancers with job success score over 90%. And Alex said 98. And almost 80 successful projects. Noise, of course, and of course. I understand that he is an old, honorable man, or not. But then his words should be double-checked, because he may not understand the difference between approving the milestone and sending money outside of the platform. Or he just didn't want to pay, and he is just a scammy client. We don't know. And another kind of funny moment, again no. Alex recorded one of the conversations with the client where he says that UpWork makes bloody money on commissions.
Okay, Alex. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
A better way always would have been for me to deal with you directly. That would be the better way.
Why ask? Without.
You just said UpWork. They just ruin your career for one thing.
Yeah.
They're not helping me. What have they done to help me?
Yeah.
They're not helping any of us. The middlemen making a lot of bloody money. I've got to pay an extra 3%. You've got to pay 20% or something.
Yeah.
And crazy.
Even I, the person who completely hates any commissions from anyone, respect UpWork much more due to the opportunities it provides. Anyway, Alex lost the dispute and in the end has lost his profile, dropped the curtain. And from all the story, we found out that Alex did a sequence of minor mistakes and they led to this, and that you are quite unprotected from clients and that they can try to get an advantage over you. And here is the mistakes that Alex did from my perspective. First, always record all your Skype communications with the client, especially calls, and never ever agree on something you cannot prove to UpWork. I record and keep everything for a year or so, just to have a peace of mind. And if something has happened with your recent recording, or you just accidentally forgot to turn it on, never do that, then repeat everything in UpWork's Messenger, just to save all the agreements and communications somewhere. And the next one is very important, and this is to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already. In my previous videos, I've covered all the takeaways, and this situation only makes me feel more convinced that I have to shamelessly plug myself just to save you from situations like this one. Alex asked for releasing a milestone due to his financial trouble. His communication was neat and great, and yet he is asked for money and pushed on generosity. This is the worst emotion to rely on. Almost nobody wants to help two strangers, and right after helping two, the person expects something in return. Never do that. I want to know that I helped my family, and during my rough periods, I was kinda saying that I need money, but only to a person whom I consider to be one of my friends, and not as a request for anything. He was and is a great client and was always billing my hours. By the way, another side advice, work with people you would like to make friends with. This makes your communication easier, simpler, and much more pleasant. And no suspended profiles, I hope. Never work on fixed price projects. UpWork protects your hours, but doesn't protect your results. I know that Alex was doing it because he had kinda an agency, but then actually open an agency and you will not face issues like this. Always do background checks on your clients. I ran some about Alex's client and found a few cheap Kindle books with 0 up to 3-star reviews from a few people. I wouldn't trust a writer who can't write well, just because I prefer to work with professionals. This is the point I always insist on. Always run background checks. I would personally drop that client and that's it. He's just a far cry from being a high quality client from my perspective. And thanks for staying up so far. This is a very unpleasant thing to talk about. UpWork is an amazing platform and it has helped me a lot to start building my career. This freelancer might have violated one of the rules, but we will never know which one, and if this happens to you, you won't too. And I really hope that UpWork won't see me as a hater, but as a person who really cares about keeping the freelance community healthy and making Upwork even a greater platform with more professional freelancers and clients. And let me know down in comments what you think about this situation. Hit the notification bell and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already. I'm posting pretty much weekly ideas, tips and tricks that every freelancer could try to embrace in his day-to-day practice. Also, I leave a link to Alex's English video in the description if you would like to acknowledge with his version. Thanks and bye.